most lovable character in MCU. I think you also like to watch Spider-Man movies because of jaw-dropping moments and great CGI. So today we're gonna see how Spider-Man movies got evolutionized.
1977. A shot.
That's like a that's not like a spider web. It's like shoot, shoot, shoot. It's like a I mean it's like a string like a thing.
Shocking as it sounds, long before Sam Raimi's 2002 adaptation, there was a Spider-Man. Despite the fact that there was a fan film before it, the
Oh, sorry. That's a mistake. Okay. Is it a Spider-Man? Like wee.
genuine title belongs to Spider-Man from 1977. There are several reasons for its oblivion. The 1977 version was a TV pilot that was turned into a film in which the iconic superhero.
But wait, I mean, I want to tell that this costume is better than others. Like other people are using now, like Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire, and almost all are using VFX suits, like not like this. So I want to respect this guy.
Battles with an evil self-help guru. Yep, this was definitely the 70s. Spider-Man began as a pilot that only screened in foreign theaters. It was unwillingly released on VHS later. As a result, Spidey began his career in the most unglamorous way possible.
Oh, that's a hilarious scene. Like oh, woof! He can use a net. Like, please don't use more things like this. Just use a cloth for that.
Spider-Man Strikes Back, 1978. Surprisingly, the original Spider-Man TV movie was so popular that it spawned an entire series, and even a film sequel.
It's 1978 Spider-Man Strikes Back. It's also some kind of bad.
As a result, episodes from the
That's a hilarious one. Those things are so hilarious that then those days.
television series were recut and released outside the US as Spider-Man Strikes Back a year later. In this movie, Spider-Man was shown to be more public with his exploits since the previous film, generating more newspaper headlines and attracting so much attention that a sassy reporter called Gail Hoffman decided she wanted to land the inside scoop on Spider-Man himself, and into Spider-Blue Man's tights, too.
Who's next?
Spider-Man 2002.
Oh, it comes the real Spider-Man. This is a real Spider-Man movie, okay?
The original Spider-Man was a gigantic cinematic undertaking that took 17 long years to come into fruition. Surprisingly, iconic director James Cameron came very close to making his own version of the movie in the 90s. Cameron wrote a 57-page...
This movie is greater than I think all the others. I think this not used VFX, but this is great.
Script outlining his vision, and Stan Lee, Spidey's co-creator, gave his blessing to the filmmaker. But Carolka Studios' bankruptcy put a stop to those plans. The alterations didn't stop here. Green Goblin was also not the first option for the web-slinger's opponent. Original drafts featured Dr. Octopus as the antagonist, but screenwriter David Koepp introduced the Green Goblin when Sony began crafting its version, which director Raimi preferred. Spider-Man 2, 2004.
The 2004 Spider-Man 2.
Although Spider-Man 2
Her name?
is usually regarded as one of the best superhero flicks, many fans would be startled by the bizarre elements that went
From Doctor.
into making it. In the original film, Doc Ock was going to team up with the Green...
Wait, I think those films didn't use VFX like these days. Like, No Way Home, everyone is coming. Boom, like, I don't know. These videos doesn't have that.
Goblin to take on Spider-Man. However, because the film already had too many moving elements, Sam Raimi decided against it, and he was introduced in Spider-Man 2. Even though Tobey Maguire was set to be replaced by Jake Gyllenhaal due to Tobey's concerns over his back injury sustained during the shooting, he eventually ended up coming back. Get it? And even performed most of the stunts himself.
No, real and alien.
Spider-Man 3, 2007. The final installment in Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy grossed $890.9 million worldwide.
$809.9 million, and I think it's about the second or third most highest earning uh, Spider-Man movie. But my favorite is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Worldwide, making it the highest grossing film of the trilogy. But with a budget of $250 million, this was considered to be one of the most expensive films ever made. However, with the development of revolutionary CGI, the astronomical costs of shooting on location in New York at $1 million per day, and extensive reshoots, many industry insiders speculate a final tab of $350 million or more in production costs alone. Additionally, the visual effects needed to depict the Sandman's abilities took 3 years to build, and various sand experiments were
Oh, that's bad.
carried out to better understand the dynamics of sand.
Great sound.
The Amazing Spider-Man,
No, I don't like exactly the Amazing Spider-Man's films. Like, they are just a half CGI.
2012. The 2010
Look at how bad is that? That the old Spider-Man movie, which is in 2007. It's better than that.
kicked off with Mark Webb's Amazing Spider-Man reboot,
I'm on in 2008. Okay, I'm on in 40, so.
which also kicked off Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone's off-screen romance. Sony Pictures had started pre-production on Spider-Man 4, a direct sequel to the original film trilogy, before deciding to create this film as a reboot instead. Sony renegotiated contracts with director Sam Raimi and stars Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst for a 3-film deal with the intention of launching a new trilogy in the series, with production expenses over $100 million. Raimi dissatisfied with the script, and tensions between Raimi, Maguire, and the studio growing, Sony decided to cancel the movie and reboot the series instead.
I'm gonna throw you out the window now.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2, 2000 commercial and
Look at how good CGI is that.
critical failure that Sony shut down the project entirely without even filming the third film. One of Spider-Man's most recognizable characters, the hilariously spiteful news boss J. Jonah Jameson, was never mentioned in this movie. He's mentioned several times in this sequel, but he never appeared.
After any other movie like this, J. Jonah Jameson was only happy.
According to the creators, they were unable to find an actor who could match J.K.
Get me? I'm a great actor.
Simmons' iconic
I'm just kidding.
portrayal of this character in Sammy Raimi's Spider-Man movie. Similar to the Sandman situation in Spider-Man 3, the VFX team studied electrical phenomena in great detail to nail Electro's look in the movie. Captain America: Civil War,
Oh,
2000.
here comes Tom Holland.
16.
Okay.
Spider-Man's third
Oh.
iteration.
It's great. Okay, I'm gonna get a screenshot here. Take a screenshot from this. This is Tom Holland, and I think he's my favorite Spider-Man.
In the 21st century,
It's like a kid taking off. It's like a kid who's telling about himself in front of the class.
came not in the form of his own movie, but by introducing him to the Marvel Cinematic Universe through Captain America: Civil War. Sony Pictures first turned down Marvel's
Sony Pictures? Yeah. Why Marvel is not there?
offer of a portion of the profits if they could bring Spider-Man over, but Sony Corporation was disappointed with the financial returns and critical reaction of the Amazing Spider-Man series and chose to renegotiate
Why? This is not Andrew Garfield. This is Tom Holland.
the contract. Tom Holland and Charlie Plummer were the
Oh.
only 2 candidates for the part of Spider-Man. Despite the casting choice being split, Holland was cast in the end, becoming the youngest person to portray
Youngest person to ever act as a Spider-Man at the age of 19.
Spider-Man at 19.
Oh.
Spider-Man: Homecoming, 2017.
I'm gonna die.
Tom Holland's Spider-Man finally got
Oh.
his own movie in 2007.
Wow, that's a great shot. Okay, I mean, this I did not watch this video or don't watch this movie, like Homecoming movie. Can you guys comment in the comment section where can I download that or where can I buy that?
2017 with the release of Homecoming. The Amazing Spider-Man was not a success.
The Amazing Spider-Man was not success, but this one is great. But I would say this one has some natural things like other previous ones had like oh going yeah they were not like realistic. This one is realistic, like more technologically like futuristic.
With several critics complaining that it was too similar to previous Spider-Man films. So Marvel took a different direction by skipping over the origin story part entirely.
This like look at the face like Spider-Man, like how it's transformed over the years. Like this is the exact Spider-Man character.
This time around.
Don't we have a break? Why almost all these Spider-Man movies have this scene? Like they're just like, getting something. Like yeah, no, wait, I want to do that. Ah, I'll fight it. Whoa, whoa, whoa! He gone.
Avengers Infinity War, 2018. Even though it wasn't a Spider-Man movie, Marvel's most ambitious crossover project converged with Infinity War, and Spider-Man was a huge part of the movie's success, even though he only had a screen time of 7.5 minutes in the movie.
7.5 minutes of Spider-Man. Like,
Because he exposed too many secrets in Spider-Man
in that film. Yeah.
Homecoming, Tom Holland was not allowed to see the script for this film. The movie ended up becoming the fourth movie to gross over $2 billion worldwide.
$1.8 billion.
And at the time of release, was the second most expensive movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the second
What is the number one?
most expensive superhero movie of all time. Avengers Endgame,
Endgame. Ooh.
2019. The final installment of Marvel's third phase was also its longest film ever and took the world by storm, becoming the highest grossing movie of all time, collecting more than $2.8 billion in box office sales. When it came to the idea of time travel, the writers consulted actual experts on quantum mechanics and time travel. Endgame is said to have cost between $350 to $400 million to make. This makes it one of the most costly films ever made. A sneak peek of Spider-Man
Oh, like I forgot to talk about. Yeah. This video, this movie is the greatest movie I have ever watched. Okay, it's the greatest one. The time traveling, that's the best.
Far From Home was included in the post-credits scene added for the re-release of this film, setting up the stage for what was to come next. Spider-Man Far From Home.
Why is like a clown like that? Far From Home. It's like a mind blowing movie. Like I don't like that movie, but that's the, I like that movie to watch. That it's I don't, but I don't really. I don't. It's not a hilarious movie. Like it has almost actions. It's only filled with actions. Like yeah, yeah. The last part, the mysterious part. I don't like this.
2019. Marvel's fourth phase started off with the next chapter of Spider-Man's life. 8 months after the events of Avengers Endgame, Mysterio was supposed to be one of the villains in Sam Raimi's canceled Spider-Man 4, but the film never saw the light of day. Throughout the film, Jake Gyllenhaal is practically never seen without his full superhero costume. It was suggested to him that he change into something else for various sequels.
Oh, that part. But I can still remember that. Is he actually killed, murdered Mysterio? I don't. Uh, I can't even remember. Oh, it's 2021. Spider-Man: No Way Home. Uh, I think it's the second favorite Spider-Man movie of all time for me, but that's the greatest. That's also great, but the action of it's not too much futuristic. It doesn't have a futuristic things. But this guy is not talking about this thing. I'm out of the. Okay, I will start in there.